Hello everyone and welcome to the Atelier. Thank you for joining me today. So further to the video that I did on how to differentiate between fake and genuine jade, one of the viewers asked me, how about yellow jade? So in this video I'm going to be covering the MUTTONFAT jade. Starting with the first one, so the first thing that I will look to is the color of the jade. So regardless of whether it falls under the nephrite or the jadeite category, the color has to be arresting, it has to be alive. So for example, the easiest way that I can explain it to you is in layman's term. For example, if you were to purchase a piece of marble top for your kitchen counter or your bathroom counter, and you go to the marble shop and you have the different categories of marble, from the very cheap and affordable ones where the color is really flat and there's nothing arresting about it, and then you go to the natural quarried marble which is arresting in color. The color seems alive, there is an ombre effect to it, and you know that you're going to be forking out that extra money because you're going to be enjoying it for the rest of your life. So that's precisely what purchasing a good quality jade is all about. The color has to be arresting. If you look at the selection of MUTTONFAT jade here, for example, you can see that the color is absolutely astounding. Especially it looks as if it's alive, and that is precisely why jade has always been associated with prosperity, because it looks as if the money is flowing towards you, health is flowing towards you. It's like a water rippling effect when you look at it moving about. It has that absolutely gorgeous color, and that is one of the most main points that you're looking. However, if you look at a lower quality jade, so some people are saying that Afghanistan jade is fake jade, but my jeweler is saying that it is not a fake jade. I would say that it is of a lower quality jade. So as in the purchasing of marble for your countertop, it's how much you want to pay for it. So this is where you can see that the color is not so arresting. It is looking very standard towards everything, looks the same. There is nothing that looks like the genuine good quality jade. So color plays a very important role. And then number two, you need to look at the clarity of the stone. So regardless of whether it's nephrite or jadeite category, there has to be some kind of a translucent quality about it, as if the water is flowing through it. As I mentioned, it is as if there is a gelatinous surface attached to it. This is where you can see it is a very high quality piece of jade. And then when you look at the dragon jade pendant that I have, this is the top of the line. You can see the clarity of it. It's almost like an ice jade. So it depends as well, because the clarity of it for the nephrite jade is not as clear as jadeite jade. And the jade worn by the emperors and the empresses were actually under the nephrite category. So what's good enough for the empress is definitely good enough for me, because the jadeite category is a much more modern category. And then you look at the carvings on the pieces of jade. When you look at the carvings on the pieces of jade, I am showcasing 3 different pendants. The difference between each of these pendants is about a decade each. So it's taken me decades to be collecting all these pieces of jade jewelry. This is precisely why I love collecting jade, because you can see that over time there is a difference in the carving, in the styling of the jade. So the top of the line, as you can see, is the dragon jade pendant. You can see that there is that smooth surface, and then the dragon seems to be coming out of the stone. The jade master, you can see this is a true master craftsman at work. You can see that the jade dragon is being carved very delicately. So the key word here is delicately. When you look at it and compare it with this other piece of pendant, you can see that this pendant is mass produced, and even though it has got carvings on it, it's very roughly hewn. So you can tell immediately the difference between the qualities of the stone. And a lot of the times when you look at if you want to hone your skill and your eye, you just have to go to a jade shop and also to a feng shui shop. When you go to a feng shui shop, you know those little animal figurines and then those jade decorative elements. A lot of jade dealers are saying, oh, those pieces are actually fake jade. That is not fake jade. That is of a lower quality jade. And because Asian people do not like to throw things away and they are not wasteful, they are using these lower quality pieces of jade that you would actually throw away because it's not worth anything, and fashion it into something decorative for the home. So that is how you can actually hone your eye and your skill and to be able to see the difference. Oh, okay, that is why you have paying top dollar for the good quality piece of jade. The second one is the fish pendant that I'm wearing. Over a decade has passed since the dragon pendant and then the fish pendant, and you can definitely tell the difference. The fish pendant that I'm wearing, you can tell that it is not being made by a jade master craftsman, probably an apprentice. Even though it is beautifully carved, you can see that it is not as finely carved as the jade pendant. Even then, it is considered a high quality jade pendant because the quality of the stone is astounding. The fish itself is also beautifully carved, but you can tell the difference. And then the latest pendant that I have, this one definitely you can tell it is laser cut, it is not handcrafted. So even though on its own it looks absolutely gorgeous, intricately carved and feminine and beautiful, but when you compare it with the other two, you can see how much the standard of carving has deteriorated over the decades. And this is precisely why Chinese wealthy billionaires and businessmen or connoisseurs are snapping up the antique pieces of jade that are being auctioned off by Christie's, by Sotheby's, by First Dibs. You can go to their websites and have a look at it. They are being auctioned off and people are snapping them up because it is a great investment value. It will continue to appreciate over time, and mutton fat jade is much more unique and much more difficult to get hold of because even in ancient times, it is much more difficult to secure them and then to be able to secure a good quality piece as well. Future generations are going to thank you for investing in them because they are getting very rare, and this is precisely why I always tell my buyers to buy the best that they can afford. Traditionally, Asians do not like to purchase jade that has belonged to someone else. But there is no choice because the quality of the jade nowadays is deteriorating, and it's very simple to explain. The master craftsmen some of them are no longer even alive, and it's very difficult for them to get an apprentice because it takes a minimum of 10 years to get just the basic skill and a whole lifetime to be able to hone it. If they are patient enough, it will pay off because a lot of these master craftsmen, they are being commissioned for $1 million works of art and $1 million pieces of jade craftsmanship. Even in ancient times. Why as well, because of the Qianlong Emperor's auction, that even period dramas are incorporating the mutton fat jade more and more into their dramas. Whereas in the past, if you look at the past period dramas, they usually do not incorporate mutton fat jade because they're simply not aware of it. They have always been using the green jade. So this is why it's always been much more unique and much more sought after, simply because it is not easily available. It's very scarce, and that is why you should collect the mutton fat jade, especially if you're a gemstone collector. Your future descendants will thank you for having this fabulous eye, for investing in this piece of gemstone, because it is simply going to appreciate over time, bearing in mind that the piece that you're looking at ticks all the boxes that I mentioned about. And also, I really hope that you've enjoyed this video as much as I have enjoyed putting it together for you, and I hope that I have answered your question. If you would like to know more about jade, I've done other videos. I will linking the playlist towards the end. I hope that I have piqued your interest in jade. thank you so much for joining me. This is Eileen from the Paul Atelier signing off, and I hope to see you again in my next video. Goodbye.
Seasons